Gerrymandering. It's a strange name for a common partisan practice. It started in Massachusetts in 1812, when then-Governor Elbridge Gerry signed a bill that redrew the state's political districts to give his party a distinct political advantage. One of the convoluted districts he drew looked remarkably like a salamander, so the name gerrymandering stuck, from Governor Gerry and his odd salamander-shaped district. Gerrymandering is characterized today as the process of dividing up and redrawing districts to give your party a political advantage. To illustrate how gerrymandering works, let's look at a hypothetical state we're calling Gerrymandia. Let's say Gerrymandia has two dominant parties, the blue and the red parties. Both parties have an equal-sized population, 30 citizens each. Let's say there are 5 districts that will represent these 60 citizens. With equal-sized populations, one might assume a 3-2 toss-up between the two parties. However, if the red party had a majority in the state legislature or the governorship, they would have the power to gerrymander, dividing up the 5 districts to their advantage. They could manipulate the map to win 4 of the seats and leave just 1 to the blue party, leaving none of the districts competitive. The same would be true if the blue party were to gerrymander the districts to their advantage. That would result in 4 seats held by the blue party and just 1 by the red party. Gerrymandia has an equal number of blue and red citizens, but if either party was given the power to gerrymander, it means unequal representation and leads to hyper-partisanship. While this may seem like a fun political puzzle, gerrymandering has an outsized impact on our democracy. In 2012, the Wisconsin Republican Party won 48% of the votes, but received a 65% majority of the seats in the state legislature. Just recently, the partisan gerrymandering done by the Republican leadership in Wisconsin was ruled unconstitutional by a lower court, and the Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case. The difference between who wins the majority of voters and who gets the majority of House seats will also play out in the 2018 election. A nonpartisan study by the Cook Report found that of the 435 members of Congress up for re-election in 2018, 45% of the seats are considered safely Republican and 40% are safely Democrat. That means only 15% of the representatives will run in competitive races. Gerrymandered districts are boxing our Congress into hyperpartisanship, even as our electorate cries out for bipartisan progress. In order to ensure fair representation, we cannot leave redistricting up to partisan forces. That's why I've introduced the Open Our Democracy Act in the Congress. I'm calling for the appointment of independent redistricting commissions nationwide. Only independent commissions can produce a transparent, fair process that will restore parity to our politics and regain the trust of the American people in our electoral process. Let's make the House of Representatives truly representative.